Savannah Guthrie's husband's PR firm is in the Epstein files. Did you know this, Chupacabra? And not
Tangentially, but like only from you're reporting. Like this is, when you hear about these things happening, I guess a kidnapping happening to a celebrity who's loosely connected to all the victims and the perpetrators, like that's your mind goes, well, maybe that's more than a coincidence. But then you start finding that there are connections, and this one blew me away.
Not just little connections. So we'll read the email first, and then I'll kind of explain what's going on here. From Kelly Friendler to Lawrence H. Summers, idea for Jeffrey E. This is 2015, mind you. This is after he's been long convicted of being a sexual predator. It says, perhaps you should suggest Jeffrey talk to Joe Lockhart at the Glover Park Group. He has helped Clinton and General Petraeus. So real quick, right off the bat, this is Savannah Guthrie. This is Savannah Guthrie's husband. What's his name again? Michael Feldman, I believe. Yes, Michael Feldman. And he founded the Glover Park Group. Let me just go ahead and read a little bit about his bio real quick here. Michael Feldman is an American public relations and communications consultant and a former Democratic political advisor. Feldman was Vice President Al Gore's traveling chief of staff during the 2000 presidential election campaign. So right off the bat, did you know that she was married to Al Gore's chief of staff? Little interesting, right? Given everything else.
Dude, of course. But I mean, like, yeah, of course.
I didn't know that. I was like, whoa, what?
Well, have you ever seen these charts that show who in the media is related and connected? And there's a ton of people who were like doing behind the scenes work in DC whose spouses are TV news anchors.
Exactly. So it's like this, right? So it's like on one hand, they're like, I'm just an unbiased reporter. But on the other hand, she's married to a super, and it's not bad to be like a Democrat or anything like that, but she's married to someone who's a major Democrat.
Yeah.
Literally was the campaign. He would have been the chief of staff of the president had Al Gore won. Let's you know what I mean? Had Al Gore was the Democratic nominee in 2000. He would have been right up there in the White House. That's high level. That's not just like the chief of staff of some local congressman, right?
Yep.
And he also has this PR firm that we'll read about more here. So Michael Feldman is an American public relations and communications consultant and a former Democratic political advisor. Feldman was Vice President Al Gore's traveling chief of staff during the 2000 presidential election campaign. He's a founding partner and managing director of the Glover Park Group, a communications, consulting, and advocacy firm. In 2001, Feldman formed the Glover Park Group with Gore campaign advisors Carter Eskew and Chip Smith. So when they didn't win, they made a PR firm. And former White House Press Secretary Joe Lockhart. The Glover Park Group offers communications, government relations, corporate advocacy, and crisis management services. Feldman is a managing director of the firm he developed and currently leads its entertainment and environmental practices. So he runs a PR firm. Let's go back to the email now, right? So somebody's emailing, I think like an assistant or something to Jeffrey Epstein about, hey, let's rehabilitate Jeffrey's image with this firm of all firms, the Glover Park firm. Perhaps you should suggest Jeffrey talk to Joe Lockhart at the Glover Park Group. He has helped Clinton and General Petraeus. And if you remember, Joe Lockhart is the former White House press secretary, right, who formed the company with Homeboy. So like they're all in the mix with each other, bro. Like
under what administration was that person? Was Lockhart the press secretary?
My guess is Clinton. Let's look this up. Yep, Clinton administration.
Okay.
Yep, it's this guy. If anyone could see here.
Yep.
Joseph Patrick Lockhart is an American spokesman and communications consultant who served as the 21st White House press secretary during the Clinton administration. So the Clintons are all up in this.
Yep.
He has helped Clinton and General Petraeus with their PR stuff, right? So, I'm sure he was helping out during all the Monica Lewinsky stuff.
Well, there's so much more. By 2015, had Benghazi happened?
I think so. Yeah. Joe is great and he likes you a lot. Let me know if you want to reach out to him. He's an old friend. Lawrence H. Summers says, not a terrible idea. Now, we don't have any other updates here. We don't know if they did go through with it, but this connection is just very strange. And again, with each batch, there's more and more. Maybe next batch, there's going to be an email that with Jeffrey Epstein saying, yeah, you know what? Let's use the Glover Park Group. Let's use the Glover Park Group to rehabilitate my image on the national media.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. And again, this is all interesting because, again, her husband, Savannah Guthrie, is married to Mark Feldman. I think that's how you say his last name. And he is a founder of the Glover Park Group, along with, as we said, Joe Lockhart. He was the chief of staff for the Al Gore campaign. He founded it with Joe Lockhart, who was the Clinton, what was it again? White House press secretary or some shit like that? Yeah. Okay. So I think that's important to just understand before we watch any of the other clips that have been going around, right? Is that like, she's, like you said, she's not necessarily just an unbiased journalist, is she? Right? If she's married to this dude, and
Well,
she's like,
and she hasn't been behaving that way. And I don't mean she should behave a certain way or whatever, but I mean, none of her coverage on the subject of like Trump or these issues that are pretty much, like keystone issues for a particular political party, like she's pretty heavy-handed. Like that clip of her before the election in 2020 with Trump, and she's drilling him. Like, you don't think, or you think there's a pedophile network that's doing this? You know there isn't.
Let's cut to that real quick too. We'll just cut.
Let me ask you about
So again, remember this clip in the context of her husband works for basically the Clintons in a PR firm that was at least in talks to potentially rehabilitate Jeffrey Epstein's image.
QAnon. It is this theory that Democrats are a satanic pedophile ring and that you are the savior of that. Now, can you just once and for all state that that is completely...
So right off the bat, this is 2020. And again, in the context of everything going on, it's like, it was crazy to learn, one, that her mom went missing, two, that she's in the files, or her husband's company's in the files, and then three, like, she has all these little weird moments about like brushing up against stuff that's related to stuff in the files, like the idea of a satanic pedophile cabal, right? And then it's like, oh, well, here she is in 2020 trying to like talk down to the president, which I feel like is very disrespectful. Whoever the president is, even if someone was talking to Joe Biden that way, I'd be like, what the hell? Like, have a little decorum.
It gets very combative. She talks down to him, and then she asserts, like, he's like, I don't know what that is. I mean, I don't know. And she's like, but I just told you. Like, that's so combative. It's like unprecedented. In my opinion, it's unprecedented.
Yeah,
and they
for
were clearly,
presidential. Yeah,
dude. Even like in the debates, they were like that, and everyone's called it out. It's like, yo, this is not right. The way
this is not unbiased journalism. Yeah, this is like a hit piece kind of
exactly. It's made out to be a hit piece, and then if he defends himself, he's attacking women. It's very weird. It's very weird how they do this. But like, this whole clip is crazy, and in the context of it, like you said, when she phrases the question, not only has all that stuff been proven to be kind of right? You know what I mean? There is a cabal they're clearly satanic pedophiles. There clearly is.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about, the Epstein files that her husband is in, or her husband's company is in, right? So it's like, does she know about this already? Is she in the know when she's asking him this question? The way she looks, you got to think she's so plugged in. She must know something. Everyone knew something. Yeah. Everyone knew Epstein was doing something. She interviews the victims.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that too. And she interviewed Bill Gates about it. She interviewed everyone about it
in 2019, right?
Mind you, her husband's in talks in 2015 about rehabilitating Jeffrey Epstein's image.
Right.
And here she is on and like denouncing Trump and the concept of a satanic cabal. Very
this
odd.
Is a year after she interviewed those witnesses or those victims.
Yeah. So let's get through this clip and then because we'll get.
Let me ask you about QAnon. It is this theory that Democrats are a satanic pedophile ring and that you are the savior of that. Now, can you just once and for all state that that is completely not true and that disavow QAnon in its entirety?
I know nothing about QAnon.
I just told you.
I know very little. You told me, but what you tell me doesn't necessarily make it fact. I hate to say that. I know nothing about it. I do know they are very much against pedophilia. They fight it very hard, but I know nothing about it.
They believe it is a satanic cult run by the deep state.
The subject. I'll tell you what I do know about. I know about Antifa, and I know about the radical left, and I know how violent they are and how vicious they are, and I know how they're burning down cities run by Democrats, not run by Republicans.
Republican Senator Ben Sasse said, quote, QAnon is nuts.
Great point. Isn't that like, because this is 2020, money. This is when fucking shit was going crazy in like 30 plus cities in America. Literally people dying in the streets. You lived in Portland at the time. Tell the people what it was like in Portland, bro, in 2020.
It was kind of like, it was a lot of LARPing, but it was a little hellish, and the media did not help in the feeling of it. It lowered morale quite a bit. You had gangs of like everyone dressed in all black running around thinking they were like freedom fighters, and they were just getting tear gassed and like ruining neighborhoods and trying to create their own little Chaz or Chop or whatever they wanted, these little areas where they would basically build forts and then run their own security around the forts. Like it was literally like Little Rascals, right? It was retarded, but it ended in a lot of broken windows, a couple dead people, 2 people died in Seattle. A guy got killed down here and just straight up murdered down here. And then the murderer got killed by the police. Like that was a whole thing. But yeah, there were these riots that would happen all the time. And the groups were nuts, and the city would let them go again and again and again.
Yeah, so this idea that QAnon, whether you believe him or not, like the idea that, like, oh, people talking about like satanic pedophile cabals is like crazy and needs to be talked about right now, and not all this crazy Antifa shit that was going on at the time, is just another like. Isn't it interesting that who her husband is? Her husband would have been the chief of staff had Al Gore won, and was buddy with Hillary Clinton's press secretary, and has this whole PR firm, and like this is what you want to talk about when the country's like locked down and burning. Crazy.
And real leaders call conspiracy theories. Why not just say it's crazy and not true?
He may be right. I just don't know about QAnon.
You do know.
I don't know. No, I don't know.
Let me ask you another thing.
Let's waste a whole show.
Look at her.
You start off with white supremacy. I denounce it. You start off with something else. Let's go. Keep asking me these questions.
I do have one more in this vein.
Let me just tell you, what I do hear about it is they are very strongly against pedophilia. And I agree with that. I do agree with that. And I agree
But
with
there's not a satanic pedophile cult being run by.
I know
You
nothing
don't know
about
that?
Oh, you think that's Trump saying yes, it is satanic? Him being like, I don't. That's him saying like, it's satanic, bro.
Well, think about it. The Epstein files reveal that everyone kind of knew about this. In that circle, especially, right? You'd have to know. You'd have to know about the pizza term. You'd have to know that this was going on. You'd have to know that Epstein was up to no good and that people were still giving him money and he had an island. You'd have to know what modeling agencies were for. You'd have to be hearing all the dirt about all the top tier stuff. So the idea of going on this show particularly and just basically trying to force the president to say it doesn't exist when he knows it exists. But she's challenging him to affirm it or deny it, and only giving him one out. You have to deny this. You have to deny this. This is not a thing. It's such a weird thing for a reporter.
In such a fucking demeaning way, dude.
Yes.
Like, love or hate Trump. Again, like I said, bro, if a reporter was talking to Biden like this when he was the president, I'd be like, who the fuck do you think you are, dude?
Dude,
like,
they
you
would
can
call
be
it
critical of
elder
him,
abuse.
but don't be like talking like that.
Dude, it'd be crazy.
Okay.
No, I don't know
You
that.
just this
neither
week.
do you know that.
Okay, just this week
Why
you
are
retweeted.
you asking me about?
No, I don't know. He's saying I don't know if it's satanic or not, and you don't know if it is either. That's crazy. That's crazy from a president.
Antifa. Why aren't you asking me about the radical left?
Because you're
Why aren't
volunteering
you
it.
asking Joe Biden questions about why doesn't he condemn Antifa? Why does he say it doesn't exist?
Because you're here before me.
No, excuse it's so cute. Antifa exists. They're vicious.
Don't you love too that this is all happening in like the mask shit in the background? Like, how dystopian is all this shit?
Yeah.
Satanic pedophiles are fake. Tell us. And it's like
I mean,
the background, everyone's masked up and fucking distancing.
Dude,
it's like
that's such
psyops
a
on
good
psyops on
point.
psyops, right?
Dude,
like,
that's such a good point. Pedophile rings are not real. She knows they are. It's been proven they are. You cut to the background and they're all masked up. And the reporter is belittling the president of the president of the United States of America. Everything is flipped. Everything was a psyop in this whole thing. It's so bizarre, dude.
so weird.
They're violent. They kill people, and they're burning down our cities.
Well, now
And they happen to
Antifa
be-
is a terrorist organization. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. So we did bounce around a little bit there, but let's